position to win this series 2-0 or 2-1 now.
Yeah, we are going to be jumping into the action very shortly. Now, that's getting into the pistol. What do you reckon the strategy is going to be going down there if we have a look at the buyers?
Not really sure. I mean, I know they like to do a lot of heavy A stuff on their pistol rounds, so I don't know if they'll go that route. I also know they like to do some boosted players and kind of like hit highway and A split. That's some of the pistol rounds I've seen them use in the past, but I'm not sure if it'll be here and now. Looks like they're just kind of pretty passive outside A at this point.
The aggressive play as well from Oscar as he does just peek his way in, holding main right now on this close pixel angle. So if Mixwell does go for the peek, there is potential for him to get that opening frag, but Mixwell doesn't want to go aggressive right now. Will just be biding his time and return to that slow style of CS that we see so very famous from them.
This is one of the maps, though, once they get rifles in their hands, they are a bit more aggressive on this map, usually faster mid-control type stuff, so it is possible you could see things be a bit quicker paced than what we saw on Cobblestone, but as of right now, they're just trying to get information. Stanislaw kind of prodding over here at B, seeing what he can find, but Daps is the only one with utility, 1 smoke and 2 flashes, so at some point they will gather up and just explode here. We do see one player being boosted here on the mid boxes, and with that flash, they will just go ahead and start spilling out middle.
Yeah, just going to try and take that advantage. And the one man as well in main, that's Mixwell. Oscar was there lying in wait this entire time, but unfortunately his patience hasn't paid off. He's been overwhelmed and forced out of position. And mid is entirely OpTic Gaming's domain now, biding their time. Not sure what they want to do with it. Seems like B will be the end game. They begin to flood their way into checkers. Angels on the site with a backup of 0 as well. Nice pop flash to actually allow to try and get the openers, and they do definitely take them. Fantastic stuff coming out right now. 0 and Sticko just going absolutely insane, ripping their way through everyone. And the final man's going to go down. That's Daps to be bested by Oscar. And they are going to be able to pick up that pistol round fantastically there, only losing 2 men.
Had great hold there from HellRaisers. Everyone getting a piece of that round except for Bondic. 2 kills there for Oscar, so definitely job well done for them to get the pistol. We'll, of course, go ahead and start upgrading here a Mag 7 and a couple SMGs. We will see OpTic Tech 9 up as they didn't get a bomb plant, so they will go ahead and take this investment. Usually I see them just spill out a squeaky door on these types of rounds, where the Tech 9 can be very effective doing that, and you do see 3 players head in that direction. So this should just be them looking to get a bomb plant. We actually see Bondic committed to the side. Normally teams will play retake A on these rounds because they know these Tech 9s are coming, but you can see HellRaisers are committed to defending this execute and trying to deny the bomb plant.
Saying up right now as they do go for this bit of a door burst play with the back of the players, everyone flooding out of main as well. Nice stuff from Sticko as he plays on this close angle with the MP7. He has to get that open up. Daps waits as he tries to get the elevated angle, but it's not really going to work out too fantastically in his favour. Just left all on rush. The man that was going huge in the previous map, he's trying to repeat that, but he will only claim 1 frag on towards Bondic before he's traded out. Forcing out 2 rebuys isn't the worst thing in the world, but unfortunately we weren't able to get that bomb down.
One of those things where HellRaisers elect to play into the site, which can be quite dangerous sometimes on rounds like that, but I mean, they just clean sweep it. You know, they defend really well, so they deny that bomb play. No extra money for OpTic. We'll just be on pretty much a full save here. Just Glocks across the board at this point. I don't see anyone picking up a P250. There's 1 smoke on Stanislaw, but that's going to be it. So this should be an easy round for HellRaisers.
Once again, they do want to return this A bombardment. They found success a few rounds in a row. They can actually get out. It's just they're being shut down by HellRaisers ball. They have a chance to really secure the bomb site in an effective manner. Doorburst play with the backup of the smoke from Stanislaw as well, and then Daps leading the charge out of main. Bondic elevated right now though, just on top of Red. Will be able to claim the headshot on towards Daps, but is he going to be able to get out of position fast enough? Unfortunately not. Railed down from the side. It's going to be on Sticko to really try and recover the situation. Oh, Mixwell coming in from the rear as well. This is going to be fantastic, but unfortunately for him, 0 with just the right time and was able to stop it before it got too far out of hand. For the retake to unfold here as they just spam their way around. It's just enough light. Eventually goes down. And that'll be a clean 3-0 for HellRaisers off the back of the pistol.
Yes, I'm curious to see what they're going to do in this next round with all these SMGs. I have seen HellRaisers prone to do a double A main, double squeaky door push and just kind of leave 1 mid or B. They do like to get aggressive and in your face and with making plays like that. Obviously have no idea if they would do it right here and now. That'd be pretty crazy, but I know it's something that they like to do, and you very rarely see teams commit that much to aggressive. And obviously a pop flash in the A main, get a little information, maybe you push a couple B lobby into Sunroom or something like that. But yeah, HellRaisers will do just some crazy aggressive stuff on this map. Oscar has an op, so he obviously wouldn't be a part of it, but we'll see what the other 4 players do.
Obviously, Oscar famously towards that B bomb site with the AWP 9 times out of 10, and he is a very effective player over there. He is able to just destroy anyone that comes his way. B bomb site is essentially Oscar's domain. You really don't want to try and challenge him for it because it's going to be a struggle to ever really best him.
A again, like Cobblestone, he's very static on long A. He's very static on B on this map. He plays it almost every single round. So if he does move around, they could catch OpTic off guard, but they probably have a good read that he does that.
Maybe the save play once again as well. As we were saying, they were able to leak out, but they never really were able to secure it. And it's a nice opener as well off the back of Rush, landing that headshot with a very tasty one-tap. Sticko in that elevated angle, trying to spam down on top of him, but can't quite do it efficiently just yet. He's getting zoned out as well. A flurry of nades bursting around him, so he's forced back, has to reposition with the cavalry and try and retake together. It's going to be a bit of a hard-fought fight here. 4 versus 4 as they begin to work their way around. Angel terrified, not really sure where the next peak's going to come from. They do tiptoe onto the site, but they're getting bested, just taken down from all angles right now. Rush and Naf come into the action, and it's just left on Zero and Oscar. Obviously, 2 of the stronger players over on that HellRaisers side, but they can't quite do the job. They will eventually be taken down, and OpTic come into the fold off the back of the first fall buy.
So big execute there from OpTic, avoiding Oscar's op over on the B side of the map, and winning the round pretty comfortably. They only lost 1 player on the round, so that's almost as good as it gets. But now we're going to see HellRaisers, of course, they were rolling with SMGs that round, being conservative, so they're still able to get an op with Oscar and have all these M4s out and play as well with full utility. So certainly a lot more to work with. As Oscar, again, will be taking this op over towards B. I wonder if Mixwell will just challenge him straight up. He knows that Oscar plays here. Is he just going to go for the actual op battle? Looks like no. It'll just be Stanislaw lurking over to B as usual. Naf probably going to be over towards Pinky Door. Rush just working A main and middle, I'd imagine. As now they will begin to slow it down.
We want to just allow that slow pace right now. No one wants to be the first sacrifice. They will just be biding their time. HellRaisers as well, they're really not going for anything too aggressive. None of these information plays, it's all been brought back. They're just playing off the back of these buddy system, just close angles to see if the push will come in from OpTic. Oscar, very close angle right now. Still pixel peek.
Yeah, you could see Stanislaw's playing B lobby so passive, just knowing Oscar's op is there. Normally he's going to be a bit more aggressive than this against other teams, but he's very aware of what's going on here. So he's not peeking well enough to give Oscar a chance there. Knows to be cautious.
A little bit of information off the back of that. Obviously the Molotov and caught out his glove. A lot of aggression towards mid right now. The smoke's going in, zones out Angel completely. Echo is there, but he actually gets dinked down. That's not too fantastic for him. Forced to just use the flashbang and then back off so he doesn't get picked off this early on.
Yeah, so OpTic have mid control, but pretty late in the round, and now you see they're looking to split this B-bomb side again, but Zero, he's tucked in here in the corner, but great Molotov. He's going to smoke it, so they still know that he's there, or at least they should, but he's going to be able to stay alive, and that's going to buy some time for a rotate to come in, but Oscar gets out there by Mixwell and OpTic. They begin to take the site.
So unfortunate for HellRaisers right now. Every angle they face, they just get obliterated instantly. It's just down to 3 men. What can this troublesome trio achieve into this round? They're going to have to try and retake the bomb site. They are outnumbered. And a little bit outgunned as well. No real utility left on either side, so it's not going to come into play. Rush being able to actually take down Angel, as it seemed like he was trying to rotate off and just go for the save. So very unfortunate for him. He won't be able to hold onto that weapon, and the rest of his teammates do opt to do so.
So it's 1 rifle less than they were probably hoping to get out of this thanks to that catch from Rush. And, I mean, Mixwell's been getting the better Oscar in these op duels. I mean, we saw it on Cobblestone, of course. Now the first time they meet head-to-head, it's in that B-bomb site in this round, and Mixwell gets the job done. So you're not going to see OpTic move up to 2. HellRaisers, of course, have saved a couple of them for it. Well, yeah, okay, so Bonda gets that kill, so he'll hold on to it. Money very limited, though, on the rest of the players, so not sure if there's something you really want to buy around.
Might be a bit of a risky decision to roll with, but it seems like that will be the call. Now, how do you reckon they're going to play this one out then? Still in that same sort of style as a gun round, or is there sort of a risk that if you do that, it won't be as effective? Do they have to try and throw a spanner in the works here and spice it up? Yeah,
it's really hard. I mean, winning a round like this when you've just forced up, I mean, they're going to have to say the next round probably regardless, but now you've made it way harder on yourself. I mean, it's like one of those things where you want to try to make a play because you did save a couple of rifles. You want to try to buy around it, see what you can't get done, but you've ruined yourself for the next round. Very low chance of this paying off, and then you're just, really messed up in the next round. So as long as OpTic don't make any mistakes, they could find themselves with a pretty easy 4-3 lead.
Molotov there from Rush will go over, try and force anyone that's playing in Maniac out of position. Now as well, it's going to be the B-bomb site that will be under onslaught. The boost here from Zero will give an awful lot of information as Mixwell actually gets taken down. I thought he would just get the tag and then he'd be able to slip out of there, but this is even better. Fantastic situation to be in for HellRaisers, but they get a little bit overconfident. They do charge out and bring it back into a 4 versus 4. There's potential this actually does favour the T's right now as well, and they begin to make that margin even bigger. Nafly taking mid-control as he shuts down Oscar. Rush will tiptoe out onto the bomb site. He's able to sleep through, but doesn't work out too fantastically. He didn't clear the angle, and Bondic just says hello to him.
Yeah, smoke kind of faded on Rush as he was trying to clear out Forklift. It gave Bondic the free frag, and so you can see how he's playing kind of gimmicky, doing head stacks on both the bomb sites. One of them pans out to take out Mixwell, and now you have that play here. But we have been able to see OpTic pushing the spawn of the CT side, and now be able to put this B-bomb site. There comes Naf from that angle, gets a kill, gets into a 3v2, and the bomb still not able to get planted, though. You see Sticko really being able to challenge that well, but now Bondic's all alone in 1v2. He's way out of position, so OpTic should be able to close it out from this point forward.
Yeah, that bomb will go down. Bondic coming in will be able to do his best die-hard impression as he goes through the vents, but he will be bested by Stanislaw. Lands the AWP shot.
So OpTic taking another round, tying it up. Have to do a lot of rebuying, but HellRaisers can't really punish it, of course. Invested a lot into that round, didn't find enough, and so it will just be on pistols this round, so OpTic a chance to take the lead.
Perhaps as well, reading the economy nicely there, we'll go for the MAC-10, and he can actually build up a fairly effective bank off the back of this round that is going to help OpTic even further into the game.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's a very small investment, one of the cheapest guns you can buy, and it can net you some extra cash. We do see him kind of being the scout with the MAC-10 over here towards B. We'll find a player there inside main. That's a lot of damage to Oscar, but doesn't quite take him down. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is actually dealing with the squeaky door push here from HellRaisers, but Naf dealing with it effectively, only losing half his life and getting 2 frags for it. Definitely a trade you're willing to take.
Yeah, such a shame as well for the CTs. They weren't actually able to trade out that frag, but Oscar will eventually come in to the action. Takes down Daps, recovers that MAC-10. They haven't really invested anything into the rounds. They can try and just cause as much havoc as possible. It's going to be a very hard task.
And there really shouldn't be too much left in this round as the bomb will go down in the A bomb site. And OpTic will take it. So there's the lead for OpTic, but HellRaisers going to be back into a full buy this round. Oscar going to be back onto the AWP.
When you look at it as well, you can see that abundance of money starting to build up over on the OpTic Gaming side, where they can just run away with these rounds and they haven't really been punished yet. Plus the fact where they were going for these MAC-10 buys to really give their economy a healthy boost. It's not too fantastic for the side of HellRaisers, obviously. Even if they are able to slay the beast once, they're going to have to keep it up.
And look at this, Milkswell's going for this op duel. He wants it. He knows that Oscar usually plays his B side. He had a good spawn, the pressure for it, and so he's set up. Oscar going to go ahead and step out here. The timing, exactly. And so Oscar able to pick up Mixwell thanks to that flash. Really think Stanislaw should be flashing for him at that point. That really caught him off guard, so that's a big kill to have if you're HellRaisers.
Yeah, that was a real shame though. Just fumbling with his nades to try and get the pop flash out so he could go for the pick, and how unfortunate. It's a massive opener on the side of HellRaisers now.
Yeah, probably hoping that Oscar was playing more towards the blue tarp and you're going to pop flash the corner so you can peek out and take a duel, but wasn't the case. Oscar pressed out, able to get past that. Now it's going to be a 5-on-4 for HellRaisers. The rest of OpTic looking to hit this A bomb site, but so far, Sticko and company defending it well.
Angel and Bondic coming in there, and it's all on one rush. He gets taken down. Sticko proving that he's been doing some acrobat lessons as he just glides down on top of him and takes his head.
So he'll just tie it right back up. Still money here for OpTic, though, to make a buy. Mixwell going to get the op. He's definitely been a lot more quiet this game in compared to Cobblestone. He's 2-5 right now. Hasn't had so many gun rounds just yet, so we'll see if he can pick it up here. This would be a pretty big round to win to reset HellRaisers' economy.
Stanislaw back on his lonesome towards that B-bomb site, seeing if the visual will be coming out. Returning back to his normal role as his teammates. Trying to go aggressive towards that A-bomb site. Nice use of Molotov there as well. That actually did force an Oscar that was going for an organic pick. The first time we've actually seen him trying to roam a little bit more with the AWP towards that A-bomb site, and it's been denied. So a good read coming out from OpTic very early on into the round.
OpTic is holding the angles here. Mixwell with an op inside A main. Taps holding off any mid push. They are going to be boosting up a player. It's going to be Mixwell with the op. See if he can find it. They're actually going to boost a couple of players up here at the same time. So they're definitely looking to explode and get some mid control in the mid round here.
From Mixwell going out with the back of the Molotov as well. Obviously, that's going to go into vent to try and force anyone out of position. So mid control looking fairly healthy right now for OpTic. They've been able to zone out any CTs that would have been in the immediate vicinity.
Yeah, using the Molotovs to clear out vents and sandbags. Pretty common stuff these days to get control of mid safely. And now that they have control of it, they'll just kind of leave one player behind, or maybe two. Actually, we'll bring the rest over here towards Squeaky Door and A lobby. Still Stanislaw lurking towards the B side of the map, still trying to hold people in place, but definitely looking to do an A execute here at some point. Now Stanislaw will probably look to come up highway. Daps will come from the door. They'll have some pressure at A main as well.
Nice position by OpTic here, though. He does have a lot of potential behind him to actually go huge. You get some really prime time frags if he's allowed to do so. Does get the opener on towards Rush, and Oscar finds one as well over on towards Daps. Sticko comes into the action as he shuts down Mixwell, and it's just left on Stanislaw and Naf. It's going to be a hard task. Obviously, one of them trapped on short. Find his way into Z, but he gets taken down. Now Naf has to recover the bomb. He's got 9 seconds left to play with. There's no chance of it at all. Runs towards door and gets bested by an Oscar.
And probably best he died there anyway for the money. So he wasn't going to be able to really do much the way the bomb was down in the positioning that Oscar had. So, I mean, OpTic in a weird way, because they do have 3 players with pretty good bank, but they also have 2 players who are quite low. So maybe you see them do some type of, like, short, like, small buy, a couple upgraded pistols just to kind of even the money out a little bit. We do see a couple of the high money players getting a Deagle, P250, and a little bit of utility, but still saving up for the next round, of course.
There's always potential as well. OpTic, they were actually quite effective with their ecos previously, so if they can go back to that older style, there's definitely a chance. Trying to go for that overwhelming factor right now as they just barrage their way out mid. A thunderstorm of footsteps will be heard by the CTs, but they're doing a good job of just picking them off one by one. Angel got the opener. Stanislaw and Naf actually come into the fold, and that's a good follow-up dig as well from Nafly as he shuts down Sticko. It's not looking too grand over on the HellRaisers side. OpTic trying to retreat, but on the fly, landing shots, panics, and eventually falls. And as I was saying, they do have potential on these pistols, and they're making it work. This is absolutely amazing. They've secured the bomb site now as well. Mixwell's going to get that planted for main. They can retreat into these absolutely splendid after plants, and it really is on 0 right now. He has that all-important kit and a little bit of utility to play with as well to try and zone out the T's, but will he catch him off guard? Still trying to reposition right now. He's panicking as well, anxious, terrified that someone could be coming in from the rear, but no one's going to be there. He doesn't know when he wants to go for this. He will begin to go for the peek. Actually spots out the first man. That's Rush. Gets him so very low, but isn't aware of the angle that Mixwell had. He peeks out and gets the trade.
That's OpTic kind of getting a little bit of bonus round, so to speak. One you don't expect them to get. Ruins HellRaisers' economy, so this particular play could afford them 2 rounds that they probably shouldn't have had. So definitely fortunate over there for OpTic to be able to do that. We do actually see HellRaisers force up what they can. Still have an op on Oscar. Have a couple of M4s in play. Sticko will have the FAMAS, but Angel just on the 5-7 here. Meanwhile, OpTic fully decked out. All they could want, they have. We do see Stanislaw looking to get mid-control much faster this time, and Mixwell's already been able to get boosted up here and get a kill on Angel, so they sped up the process on getting control of middle this time around, changing the tempo and finding a lot of success.
Always one man in Daps as Oscar actually gets a bit aggressive and is able to blast him out the cell with that op. Sticko somehow is actually able to get that kill onto Mixwell as well. Didn't fully go around the corner and the angle was a little bit awkward for him. 0 with a nice little boost play here. Somehow he's actually able to stay alive that long and did a massive transfer of damage over onto that T.
So low health on these guys on OpTic. It's a very fragile situation for them to hold on to this.
Stanislaw, unfortunately, isn't going to actually be able to get that opening frag. It's not looking to run for that side rush. A very awkward position as well. Has 3 angles to deal with at once. Somehow actually gets that following frag on towards Oscar, but can get the spray transfer, and that defuse is going to come in off the back of Sticko.
Yeah, so a trading of rounds here. HellRaisers is going to be able to maintain a lead. Bomb plant money is going to allow them a little bit more. So with that bomb plant, they still have pretty decent money here. But certainly, it's one of those situations where probably still looking to not quite force into it too much. But actually with that 9K, yeah, you can drop a couple of AKs there. So they will go for AKs. They won't have the op there on Mixwell, but again, very capable rifler. Though he has been pretty quiet this game in comparison to Cobblestone.
They might return to that more aggressive style of play as well towards that bomb fight. You said they do try and bring this out on these young rounds occasionally and just overwhelm their opponents. This could be the first time we actually get to see it. Is Oscar going to be ready for this? Won't claim the first frag, wants to try and go back in for more. Sees him through the smoke, he bests Stanislaw. Unfortunately for him, that's all he's going to be able to get this time before his head eventually gets railed down by Daps. Sticko in the elevated position, good stuff so far. Will be able to claim one onto Rush, nearly gets the follow-up frag, but it's not gone too amazingly, and it's just left on Daps. A 1 versus 2. Nice use of the Molotov there, so he can't actually go aggressive towards CTs, but Angels doesn't even bother. He's just going to peek him himself and take him down.
And so Optic just looking to try to do an explosion on the B-bomb site very rapidly, but they didn't get that smoke down on spawn fast enough. Oscar able to pop off 2 frags before the smoke blooms, and those are big difference makers. And we actually are going to see Optic taking a tactical timeout here. Not a bad place to take one. Money's a little bit in disarray. You want to get more out of this half on the Terror side. I mean, a lot of the maps have been leaning more to the T side just because of the current meta, but Cash has always been a map that's usually had an ability to be pretty T-sided. So I think Optic are definitely, being a T-sided team themselves in general, I think they definitely want to try to win out this half, or at least get themselves, 2 more before the half's over.
Yeah, I think they fear the beast as well. That is HellRaisers once they're allowed to be more organic on that T half. We've seen it in the...
You need to get mid control, but maybe drift a little bit more A heavy, which is a bit more characteristic of Optic, to be honest. Or if they would have set up for some heavier straight up A executes, which is something else I know they like to do. But of course, this round, just on pistols, they didn't win one of these, to be fair, but it seems like this time around, Sticko's going to have none of it.
I mean, that was just thunderous. And that's the flurry of bullets there, just slaying everyone that was in front of him. And he is hungry for more as well. Unfortunately, he won't get much of a cash bonus off the back of that P90, so it's not going to be fantastic for him, but it's still a great way to kick off the round. Then very quickly, it would seem. Mixwell left in a 1v3. A bit of potential left on him, but unfortunately, it's not going to go that far.
So Optic getting the bomb plant there at least. That will give them a little bit of extra money to work with here, but HellRaisers with the round. And the defuse coming in there, so they will go ahead and move up to 8. Well, this is what Optic were really playing for. These next 2 rounds. See if they can't, make it as close as possible.
And the buy coming in there as well. Mixwell back on the AWP. Do you feel like this could be sort of the game-changing play if he can be able to return to that roaming style and really get the aggressive opener, or will we see more of a standardized sort of pick?
I'm curious if he's going to go for B again. He's got the spawn for it, but it seems like he's pointing towards the direction of middle, so he might just get boosted up or look to go A main, just look to C. I mean, I have to say, HellRaisers haven't been very aggressive at all, so he hasn't gotten any free kills or opportunities to just get a quick pick very often.
It's been very sort of cookie cutter from HellRaisers. There's been none of that sort of overly aggressive play. We only saw sort of Oscar, I believe, twice, where once he went into main on the pistol and then on one of the buy rounds where he tried to go for that peek towards door. Other than that, it's been very standardized.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Stanislaw's aware of this. That's why he's so hesitant to go Sunroom. He normally just goes there immediately, but he knows that Oscar likes to do this, so he's being very cautious about it, playing the edges of the smoke, not giving Oscar a chance to get a kill. So you can definitely tell that they have a read on this.
Wanting it, hungry for a frag, but he is forced to just back off. Obviously, the smoke going to be zoning him out, stopping his line of sight.
Yeah, so once again, going for mid control, they're going to smoke CT connector, molly sandbags, and vents and just get control. But Stanislaw finally did fall prey to Oscar, so they are going to have to do this a man down now. They do get control of middle, yes, but now they have to play it in a 4v5. Looks like they're trying to get up highway with Naf here. That bomb is backtracking towards A main, so they want to put this A bomb site. See if Sticko can hold it.
Molotov will go out. He has a flashbang as well. He can try and bounce it off. It's not going to work, though, as he tries to go for the jump to land the pop flash. He gets taken down from the sidelines, but it begins to be regained by his teammate Bondic coming in with a 2K. It's all down to Rush now. 1 versus 4. Does spot out one of the CTs, but couldn't land the shot. And Angel was there to just immediately blast him down.
Yeah, great combination there from Bondic and Angel. Bondic being able to stay alive at quad the entire time and putting a stop to the highway push. Meanwhile, you had Angel with just a great timing, peeking out mid, catching a player off guard from behind. And those 2 frags was really what sealed the deal there for HellRaisers. So now they're up 9-5. Optic going into this round, obviously, buy all that they can, but you can see that it's not very much. So HellRaisers with 10 CT rounds, that would be, just a dream scenario for them. That puts a lot of pressure on Optic if the 2-0 series when you're playing from that far behind.
Interesting as well. I thought they might have actually tried to go for that more overwhelming burst style of play we saw, even though they have the Tech 9s, because they are still favourable when you're on the move and you can land those sort of more lucky tags. But very slow stuff right now. I'm not trying to go for that. Once again, they've been given a fair bit of mid-control. Angel was the one on the other side, but he's not actually even going to spot them out. Can't actually go for the jump face over the smoke, and they've been able to leak their way through Vent. Oscar, if he doesn't realise soon, could be picked off from the sidelines, but it's not going to matter. His teammate comes into the fold. Sends Mixwell off into the fray and gets the follow-up headshot as well, doing a very good job of surviving on the site right now. Angel has finally come over as well, and this is a spectacular defense on display here from the CTs. Rush will be able to get 2, but it's nowhere near enough. Angel takes him down. That is going to be a 10-5 scoreline at the half.
Yeah,
And we'll be going to a very short break.
Have highway covered. You make sure you're not getting flanked through CT spawn. You can still win rounds, and they certainly did. Especially the big example was that A-hold, right? Where you saw Bondic being able to constantly stay alive at quad and not allow them to take control of the site in very many cases. So, I mean, HellRaisers are well set up to push this in the overpass at this point.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. Let's see if your dream of the 2-0 will be coming to fruition right now. Daps, it's going to be his job to try and defend that A site. They are going to be playing this A retake setup. It has been claimed now by the T's, and everyone will be getting to shuffle over very shortly. Limited utility in what they've got. Stanislaw the only one with a kit. They begin to group up right now. The cavalry will be arriving shortly. Angel in an interesting position, just jumped up on top of Glyph here. Goes for the peak. Will bite off more than he can chew 3 people on the receiving end, but he hasn't been taken down just yet, and only 1 tack's gone his way, seeming like he could actually get an opening frag on the board here up against Naf. He's panicking so very much. The whiff's coming out. He can't quite actually connect it. And eventually he will be taken down off the backup of Daps. Oscar did find a single frag as well, so it is going to be a 3-on-4. But they begin to make this situation even better right now. Stuff coming out from OpTic. If they can keep this up, this would be grand, but it's not going to go that way. Oscar and Zero will come in with a little combo. 1-2, 1-2 punch and take it down.
Last 3 kills were pretty rapid. I mean, there was a chance, I thought, for OpTic to actually make that retake happen. They were getting a couple of kills, but HellRaisers hold them off, so they will move up to 11-5, so great chance to build up a pretty big lead now. OpTic will, of course, get some CZs in play here with some head armor, see if they can't make something happen. So it looks like they are going to be stacking a little bit heavy towards the A-bomb site here. Or in fact, very heavy. All four of the players go in this direction.
Oh, look at this as well. That's why getting very cheeky here, trying to go for that face with the Deagle, but unfortunately won't be able to get it. And he gets taken down as well, punished because of that. Want to try and cause some havoc, but it's not really worked out at all. Nice nade from Oscar there. It's going to blast Mixwell out of the server, and they've only got 3 men left on OpTic to contend with now, just a few seconds into the round. So we'll force rush out of position. They should be able to pick up a frag fairly easily, but even then it's just going to make their lives much simpler as they go for this push on towards the bomb site. Stanislaw will be able to utilize his CZ to get the spam off, but even then it's going to be nothing really to write home about. Only 1 weapon being rebought for HellRaisers.
Well done by HellRaisers there, utilizing Molotovs very effectively to clear out all their spots, make sure they weren't going to deal with any close corners with those CZs. Just made it easier on themselves to take the round. Now they're up 12-5, and now OpTic onto a full save. So we should see HellRaisers build this up to 13. That's where OpTic are going to have to start a long climb to be able to get back into this one. Luckily, they did take map 1, so they do have the 3rd map to play with. It's going to be overpass.
Could be a very interesting affair if we get there, and it does seem like it will be going that way. It's obviously OpTic not in a great situation right now. HellRaisers most likely going to be able to pick up this round. It should be 13 in the bag for them, and that's not a big buffer really for OpTic to actually play with. It's going to be a huge mountain to climb. Let's see if they'll be able to start to make their stake into that claim now. Obviously, only with the USPs in hand, Stanislaw, the only one that did actually upgrade, and he's been dropped immediately. Oscar coming into the fray there as he just taps them both down. One of them being the wallbang as well, over towards Rush. And this is not a great round. They're going to be able to keep it up. The high-tempo play from Stiko as he just destroys everyone, goes in for the 2K, wanted to try and find the 3rd, but Oscar was still quite hungry, so finishing it up himself.
So here comes the round to see if OpTic are really going to have a chance to come back into this or not, or whether HellRaisers just shut them out and we move on to overpass here in just a few moments. One difference I think you'll see is OpTic usually like to play the 1-3 on this map. They like to get aggressive in mid and take control of it, but HellRaisers is one of those teams that like to aggressively attack middle, so I don't know if OpTic will back down or they'll just keep the 1-3-1 and try to contest it directly.
Yeah, a very interesting round to see what style they're actually going to go for. Well, they will actually stick with the 1-3-1 with a lot of aggression actually coming out early on, trying to take that control towards B. So they do have the information and ambition to rotate those players back off towards A. Alright, they're setting up for the A take as well off the back of the smokes, and they will then try and bombard their way out into the site. Dust. Can they defend it this time?
We'll have to see. I mean, they're going to get a pretty early rotate, so they'll have 4 members in the area quite quick, and Stanislaw should be able to get off a flank, but the entries from HellRaisers are chiming in. Angel taking out Dats. Everyone else is smoked off. Mixwell does get 1. Rush able to peek up and grab a couple as well. Wow, this is did not expect this to happen, but now HellRaisers have to try to win in 2 versus 4.
Bomb is down there. I'm just going to be hiding right now, absolutely terrified, panicking about where the next tag could come from. Zero wants to try and get off the site and cross into safer ground, but he's struggling, just tapping away as well, being pushed from all angles. Isn't aware of the player that is going to come out of main, but it's not even going to matter. Luckily, Stiko was able to see him as he just handled his way out. Not only a Mach 10 going up against the Famas, it's not really going to be that effective from that range. You just get taken down, and OpTic somehow are able to actually find their way back into it, a round they so very needed, and they do it.
And just off the back of the B aggression, being able to get over to A And after the initial execute, that exchange that happened with Mixwell and Rush being able to get those kills, those were massive. I mean, that really tilted the balance in OpTic's favor in a big way. So they will be able to start their journey towards a comeback.
Yeah, they need
Still
to
quite a ways off, though.
Keep that tempo high, and as you say, it's a long road to go down, and it's going to be a struggle. Obviously, it seems like the confidence in them has sort of taken a bit of a hint now off the back of the amount of rounds that HellRaisers has been winning, just an abundance of rounds on the trot, and if OpTic can't try and recover now off the back of that, it's really going to be a horrid situation for them to be in.
Right, I mean, OpTic usually like to be aggressive. Stanislaw and Naf pairing up this A-bomb site, like to get into this A main position and battle there. So we'll see if they're going to do that. Looks like not. Mixwell playing mid very passively, so OpTic definitely, you know, being a bit more resistant to trying to be aggressive, which is a little bit uncharacteristic, but I think it just matches up with how HellRaisers plays. Whoa.
That was very awkward there. Unfortunately, as Stanislaw came in, he did get the frag on towards Angel, but he also take down his teammate in the process.
That was a pretty crazy team kill. Kind of came out of nowhere now, but the rest of HellRaisers looking to charge into this B-bomb site. Daps is going to be there, but that's it.
Tough to go out to try and give them a little bit more time to wave, and that has actually divided them. So if they do go for the peak, they will be on their lonesome, and he can actually get a couple of easy frags on the board. Stanislaw will get another one. Daps actually starts to come in as well. This is good stuff, defending that site very effectively. Unfortunately for his teammate, the flank comes out from Zero, just sprinting his way onto the site as he runs and guns, and he's finding the frags all over the place. A free K already on the board, wants to try and make it into the 4, but it's not going to work. Nafly glides down and gets the frag. Sticko just sprinted all the way to that A-bomb site immediately. Once he was aware of the positioning of Nafly, knew he had to get the hell out of there and try and go to the open site. He will have enough time to get that bomb planted and get into an afterpump before Nafly even arrives on the scene.
And neither player has any utility here, so it's going to be a straight-up aim battle.
They might kick each other as well, but Naf actually sees him as he was trying to get his way back in towards main. Thought he had a little bit more time to play with, and he takes him down, and that is great stuff for OpTic. Really down to the wire, but they're showing that individual skill can shine through.
Yeah, I guess Sticko was hoping that Naf was going to be a bit slow on the rotate. Definitely a plant you want to have out in the open, making it more difficult for Naf to clutch, but Naf bit really early on rotating back to A. Some players would just stick it out at B and just make sure they're not getting double faked, but he went for it and it paid off, and so now OpTic have 7 rounds, but HellRaisers, of course, still able to make a buy here. And you've seen Oscar, he's been way more alive this game than on Cobblestone, 20 and 11, so if he can keep it up, OpTic are going to have a tough time climbing back into this one, but they have been able to string together a couple of rounds in a row now, so it's starting to become a little bit more possible.
Let's go. All in hand. Will he be able to find these picks that he's so used to getting? He really is known for getting those nutcracker plays where he just blasts his way out into the site. No aggression coming out just yet as well from the side of OpTic. As we can see, they're not going for any of those sort of information-based plays early on. Are just going to be holding their ground and seeing just how long it will take until HellRaisers come to them.
And playing really passive at middle, similar to what HellRaisers was doing throughout most of the first half. Just playing the sites. We are going to see HellRaisers gathering up to do an A execute here. A couple of players in A main and one at door, but the bomb's actually not quite committed, so I guess they could bounce off of this if they see something they don't like.
Yeah, it's good as well, actually forcing it. OpTic out to use all that utility that they've been holding on to. Still a minute left on the clock, but they only have 1 smoke left now. Still a fair few flashes and the nade over on Naf, but that's not going to be the important factor.
So here comes the smokes being lined up over here at the A-bomb site. So it seems like they're going to follow it up with execute any moment now. OpTic still don't have really a rotate in yet, so it's just going to be up to Naf and Stanislaw to try to hold this attack, and Naf does find the first frag.
Good stuff coming out from him, but now he's trapped in a horrid situation. But just as he tried to cross, Oscar was too fast, snaps him down. Stanislaw on the bomb site though. Unfortunately, they can't quite get an advantageous angle on him, and he's been able to just rip his way through all of the men that are coming in front of him. Oscar now, back with the AWP in hand. Has been able to cross to that site. Zero is there, but unfortunately for him, there was another man just lying in wait. Stanislaw being so very stealthy, just tucked into the back of the bomb site. Oscar has to commit to the bomb plant. He's getting pushed from the sidelines. Rush takes him down, living up to his name there as he just sprinted up beside him. And the bomb defuse will come in.
And most of the credit has to be given to Stanislaw there, just holding his ground inside the A-bomb site, getting 3 really key frags. His teammate went down pretty early in that execute, so being able to stay alive there and get some kills and keep his team in it was pretty massive. And HellRaisers, though, still being able to buy up. They're still, you know, getting kills. They're approaching max loss bonus at the same time, so they can keep doing this for a little while. But eventually OpTic could break him. I think a round win here would finally do it.
There is potential behind that. And I mean, OpTic really bringing the stellar CT side out so far. I didn't expect that they'd have that much energy left in them, and it's been on display right now. If they can keep this up, this could be a very spectacular game left here on map 2. Stanislaw with a very interesting angle as well. Going to see him as they cross, but he can't quite connect all of his shots. We'll only get a small tag off over on towards Zero, and a huge headshot comes out from Bondic. He's been able to crack that site open, and they can slip their way into these fantastic afterparts position now. Sticko is going to be the one to hammer in those numbers as well and get the bomb down. You see the 2 kits as well, and the utility still left on the CTs. If they want to go for this retake, there's going to be an awful lot of firepower left in them, but it just could be a massive struggle. Bondic in that elevated angle, unfortunately, couldn't quite get the shots off. Naf was able to take him down. Angel actually hits the ground as well. Zero playing on this close angle just by the bomb default plant. Will be able to get one open, but it's just left on Sticko all of a sudden. Tech 9 in hand in a horrid position. He's going to have to wait. Doesn't really have to go for the peek right now. They can play this correctly. The Molotov goes down to try and force him to go for the over-exaggerated peek. Somehow connects the headshot and gets the follow-up as well.
What a play from Sticko, being able to get through that incendiary and get those 2 kills. What a massive play. OpTic was making a pretty good retake there. You know, seeing the boost at quad, knowing 2 players are there, using incendiaries to flush them out. They were getting some kills. They were getting back into the mix, but Sticko comes up there in the end, puts HellRaisers to 14 rounds. OpTic broken. They have to save here, get a couple of upgraded pistols, and next round's not going to be much better, to be honest. So this could be where HellRaisers just close out the map.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, being allowed to pick up this round essentially fairly easily in the grand scheme of things, you're going to be there at that point. It's going to be such a hard task for OpTic to really start to come back from that. The actual aggression comes out, and it is going to go in the favour of OpTic, interestingly enough, as Stanislaw is able to control the spam of that CZ to take down Oscar. Very important, prolific fragger on the side of HellRaisers, and he's keeping it up as well. Gets the follow-up over on towards Angel. Nice stuff from Bondic to actually regain control as he gets the 2K onto both Stanislaw and Naflight, and will recover that bomb. Just has to dispatch 3 more players over on that CT side. B-bomb site with only 1 man left standing there as well. His teammates close by, just holding right now, seeing if there's any more aggression going to come out from the side of OpTic.
Yeah, great play from Bondic there. All the ground that OpTic gained has been taken away. Now HellRaisers will just kind of slow it down. Have plenty of time to play with here. They have the bomb in their control. You do see OpTic electing to keep a couple players inside the A-bomb site and just have Rush anchoring B. He does have the CZ and a couple of flashes, which can maybe give him a little bit more time. But that rotate's going to be so far off. It looks like we will see HellRaisers working into the A-bomb site, so they will run into the site that has 2 players, but just on pistols and no utility, it can be very difficult to hold.
Luckily for them, they are walking into the site with 2 CTs stacked up, so they do have a little bit of a chance here if they play this correctly off the back of these close angles. Mixwell in an absolutely fantastic position with the back of Daps as well, and he is going to be able to get the opener, but tagged down from Bondic, unfortunately, wasn't able to get back in position off the back of the tag in, so he does go down, and it's just left on 1 man. Rush all on his lonesome. Bondic, he's already taken 4 frags into the round. Could this be the ace for him? As Rush makes his way up short, slowly slides up, wants to try and find his way in. It's good stuff as well. Sticko not going to be going for the peak right now, just hiding in main, has no reason to go for the face. Rush, a little bit of utility left to work with. We'll go for that pop flash in to try and bait him out, confuse him about what he actually wants to go for. The face from Bondic. He's jumping around like a madman, but he can't quite connect the shots. And there it is. Bondic's going to claim an ace. And another round for the side of HellRaisers.
Yeah, of course, good play from Bondic there. Again, kind of equalizing that A main aggression, making sure that OpTic didn't have a huge advantage going forward. And now they're at map point. And OpTic still probably not going to have so much to work with here. So HellRaisers in prime position to move on to a map 3. So again, you can see it's a pretty similar scenario for them, just some CZs in play. So it seems like HellRaisers has all but done it at this point.
Sure, indeed. Flash through the smoke there towards mid. They could try and go for the opener if they wanted to, but they are just going to go straight for this B aggression. No real weapons on the side of OpTic as well. Very weak Arsenal, so they won't be able to defend this too fantastically. That CZ spam will be very hard to control with an absolute abundance of men that are going to peek them.
So you can see HellRaisers setting up outside B lobby, looking to execute here pretty soon. A couple players in place. Already have 1 beginning to rotate through spawn. Also 1 player highway can get the vent pretty quickly. Nice pop flash comes in. Daps able to do a lot of damage to Sticko, but can't find the kill. Now they know where he is.
Oh, he's going to be blown down as well. Mixwell also sprayed to death by Angel. Towards mid, Stanislaw. He's been very effective with that CZ with these late round rotates, and he actually does cut down Angel. Rush on the site, trying to go for these peaks, being a little bit overly aggressive, potentially. Once again, Zero, he's been so effective at just going for that sneaky place, going all the way around, getting up from headshot, and just taking down the member of CT on site. Stanislaw, he has been able to recover himself a UMP as well, and they're making this deficit closer and closer every time. Only 3 men left standing over on that T side. There is potential for them to actually find their way back into this round, but it's going to be very hard right now. The bomb has been planted. They only have 1 kit and no real utility to try and find their way in. Nafly, no weapon either. There's a chance, but it's very, very slim, and now that chance has gone out the window. Nafly getting taken down. It's just on Stanislaw, rattling shots off, but they're not even going to connect, and he gets taken down. Dust. That's more what we expected really from HellRaisers there on a map like Cash. I felt that was where they were actually going to edge out, especially as you were saying off the back of that first half that just wasn't anywhere near good enough for OpTic Gaming. They had to come in strong and it didn't work out for them. Do you feel potentially if that first half had gone differently, this could have been a map they took?
Yeah, I just feel like HellRaisers got way too much accomplished on that CT side. Being able to get 10 rounds on the CT side of Cash is quite good.
Yeah.
They were just firing on all cylinders. They were holding the sites quite well. Yeah, they were giving up mid control. They were electing to do that on purpose, and whenever it came down to actually holding the sites against executes, they were doing it quite well. I mean, Bondic playing the quad on the A-bomb site was highly effective at defending anything going on at B. You saw Oscar being able to enact his will with the op over, you know, whether it was aggressive plays pushing in the B lobby and catching people with the op, or whether it was just playing more passive in CT spawn, catching people crossing into the site. He was very effective. So yeah, they just played a really good CT side. You know, there was really no guy that was performing bad for HellRaisers. I mean, I think their bottom fragger still had 16 kills, while your top fragger had 24. So a decent gap there, but there was a lot of people right in between that were doing quite well. So definitely a good performance from HellRaisers. I mean, they got the job done. They had that big CT side. They won pistol. They got the 3-0 start, and they never really looked back. I mean, yeah, you saw they get a couple of rounds here and there, but they never really had anything consistent. They never really looked like they were in striking distance. Like, I don't think HellRaisers ever felt that they were in danger.
Yeah, it always seemed like they definitely had a firm grasp on the game. And I'll tell you someone else that has a very firm grasp on their job. That's going to be Puckett, and he's going to take it way over the desk.
Oh, firm, Jack.